time around against Kansas State, and how did that sort of manifest itself on the court?
We felt really confident. I could tell in warm-ups that we were feeling good. Our connection was there. Definitely started on defense. All 5 of us were helping each other out. And as you can tell, our defense soon translated into our offense. We were able to get easy buckets and fast breaks and transition. And our guards were making their shots so they couldn't stay in zone for long. And so we were just clicking on all cylinders tonight.
Motivated to play against Ayoka?
Yeah, you can say that. I take defense real serious, so I felt like the first time around she didn't really get a good taste of me. But, yeah.
There was that one shot, and you went, up for like 5 times that finally went in. And got it in there. I feel like that was just like your move tonight. Would you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like that got me going. Rebounding definitely also gets me going. And so once I was able to keep getting my own rebounds, I was like, all right, well, that kind of game, you can definitely go off. And so that was my mindset from then on out.
Jordan, with them in the zone, in the 2-3 zone a lot of the time, you guys basically busted it. How good did it feel for you and Sarah to kind of get going from beyond the arc at the same time?
I think the first time we played them, we settled for a lot of outside shots early, and even when other people's played us in zone, I feel like we settled early. I think so. Getting into the paint first and getting paint touches and getting our bigs going, it collapsed the defense more and allowed us to have open shots. And so I think we just have to shoot the ball and make shots. And today Sarah was on. Jamie made some big shots, and I just think everyone was shooting the ball well today.
Jordan, do you feel like you guys were just kind of gaming out there at a certain point? Like you guys were just able to, I don't know, have fun with it?
I think we try to have fun as much as we can while still staying focused. I think the coaches are kind of getting mad at us in the fourth quarter and third quarter for giving up basket after basket. So kind of just like trying to stay locked in on defense and still executing the game plan, even when you have a big lead. You just want to make that statement and not allow people to back in the game.
There was also there was like a loose ball on one end and down to the other side. What were you thinking when you were doing that? Like, did you think you were going to get there in time?
Well, she kind of just like looked back and let the ball go, and so I was like, oh. And then as I'm running, I see Jamie out the corner of my eye, so I was like, I guess we were both racing to it, and yeah, and we ended up with a basket, so it was a good hustle.
Did she flip that like around her?
Yeah, she did. It was like behind her back or something. She was just like, here. So, yeah.
The foul on Ayoka to get her third, their coach said you were holding her, I guess. That was why he got his tech.
If we go back and watch film doesn't lie.
I was right down there. I think I was about 5 feet away on that play.
Yeah.
And the strange thing was she had started posting and the ball wasn't even near half court yet. So she was already posted in the lane. So I was starting to count, so I was pretty close down there. So I just, she didn't.
Queen, y'all got West Virginia coming Saturday. What do you remember from that first game? Y'all played really well up there, too.
Real physical. They like to get in your head. They like easy things like transition and quick points. They're very physical on defense, so they're definitely going to be in our guard shorts. The posts are going to be bumping and hitting us and trying not to allow anything easy. But, we played really well up there offensively, so it's definitely another opportunity to expand that and continue to play well offensively after today's game and to build on our defense as well. And I feel like it'll be good.
You've beaten a lot in your career. Y'all have beaten a lot of teams on the road, like you beat them pretty bad, and then you come back at home. Is there something you do to focus? Because it's kind of maybe can guess how it's going to go from an outsider perspective.
Our coaches do a good job at keeping us focused, and when they see that we're kind of losing focus, they kind of snap us back into it. And once they do that, we all kind of rekindle and get back on the same. Get back on the same
page.
Same
Yeah,
page. Here we go.
Same something.
Somebody help me.
Jordan, both ends, you feel like this might have been y'all's best game? I know y'all played really well against Iowa State, too. But
I feel like we executed the game plan well. I don't necessarily think our defense was the best it's been. I think our defense was the best that it could be for the way that we wanted to play tonight. And I think that it changes game to game. And so I think being locked in and being able to execute the game plan that we wanted to execute was the best we've done.
Anything else for the girls?
Thank you.
Good job, you guys.
Questions for Coach?
No questions? Oh, okay.
They came out in the 2-3 zone and you guys essentially busted it. Is that, kind of how you drew it up?
Well, we knew. When you look at them statistically, they actually play more man than they do zone. But they played us all zone up there, and they were pretty effective. They've played Texas all zone. It keeps Lee near the basket. She doesn't have to guard pick and rolls all day. And so, yeah, we didn't talk about man-to-man offense. We only one day prepped. I had to give this team Monday off. So all they did was massages on Monday because, after that stretch last week, I didn't think we'd get anything out of them. And so, on a one-day prep, we just really focused on the little parts of our zone offense, like really getting the ball into the high post early. That was a key for us. We just struggled to get the ball in the high post, and we feel like when you get it there, Lee steps up. You can get inside-out action. You can get high-low action. And Liz started out making a couple jump shots there. Cade hit a jump shot, and so, we had just talked about, going into the second half, we just don't want to be a black hole. It's good to get it in there, but oftentimes the right plays to get it in and then kick it out. And so, I just thought, we did a good job with hustle plays, even the play that you mentioned, like when it was going to be an over the back and we had two players sprinting. To me, that said they wanted to win this game, because it would have been easy to just let it be an over and back. So, I really thought Queen was dialed in. I thought Queen was dialed in when we went up there and they called a couple fouls on her. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have, but I think keeping her out of foul trouble early, getting Lee in foul trouble early, like, the fact that he stayed with her with 3 fouls there for a stretch, was, you knew they were going to stay in zone, at that point. But, yeah, we made shots. We got the ball inside. We got it out. We made the extra pass. And then we stepped up and made shots. And that's what I felt like this team. I don't think anyone should be able to zone this team. I've said that from the beginning. We have our 3 starting guards can all make 5 threes in the same game. Like, they are all great three-point shooters, great percentage shooters. And so even when Jaden comes in and she's not as good a three-point shooter, but she's really unselfish in terms of making the extra pass and understanding that she has shooters around her. And so, we just but Jordan said it, but we did a better job attacking the Big 12 logo, whether it was off the pass, whether it was off the dribble, so that we were getting those inside-out passes rather than just throwing it around the perimeter and then shooting threes. She was active. Like, she struggled, in the Oklahoma and Texas game. She did some key things at different points in those games, but, this was Iowa State, Jordan. This was, I'm aggressive off the bounce. I'm looking for my shot. I'm ready to catch and shoot it when I get it. She was better coming off of ball screen. She was way more engaged. Like, once they went man and we were ball screening. So this was Jordan. This is what Jordan can be, pretty much night in and night out. So, yeah, I just thought, this game all started with our ball pressure, It allowed us to get on the top side. It made it so they just couldn't pass it around the horn. They were uncomfortable, And so that was our goal, is to make them uncomfortable. Yeah, we were really, not to give up our game plan because I'm sure anyone could find it on film. We were really pressuring the ball. We were denying one pass away, and we were in deep help side, forcing the skip. So that was, they started, what it did was it forced them to go to actions that they're not maybe as efficient in, normally they just set a ball side triangle with a high post and then, one guard on the backside. And we did such a good job of just really pressuring the ball and making them uncomfortable. And it certainly hurt them that Sundell was out because she's their best passer. But we were really bothering her to begin the game as well. So, we were just there. We were trying to be there so that, we discouraged them from even throwing the pass. Because we know if we're rotating with a 5'6" guard on the backside and she catches it, she doesn't bring the ball down. Like she does not bring the ball down. You're rarely going to get a strip. But if the ball's loose, Jordan came in from the backside and beat her to a loose ball when it wasn't a clean catch, that type of thing.
How much are you kind of going after this game? Yeah, this is what we can do against that team when we're healthy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Lee getting in foul trouble early affected them. I think Sundell, I'm assuming it was a sprained ankle, her situation. I think that affected them. But, when you look at them statistically, home versus road, they're really good at home and they've struggled a little bit on the road. So I knew, that we could pressure them. I didn't think now. Part of holding Lee under double figures was Lee not playing, in the fourth quarter. My guess is she'd have gotten a basket if she'd have played. But I think at that point, as a coach, you've made your decision. We got to not get her injured, playing her in a game, we're down 35 points and, just go on to the next, which is, you don't do that a lot in college, but I can tell you in the pros, sometimes you just know when to pull starters. You just know it's not our night and we got to play in 2 days. And so you do that. And so I think he just protected her in that situation. But I think this is, it's easy when you share the basketball like we did. I mean, when you have 30 assists, it means your team's being unselfish. They're making the extra pass. I thought there was a possession that we had in the second half that we turned down about 7 shots, on the same possession that I thought were good shots. And ultimately, Queen hit an elbow jumper for us. And so, I just thought we were really unselfish tonight and shared the ball well.
Particularly there late, looked like Queen had some moves I haven't seen from her. She was really good around them.
Yeah, we talked a lot about, she had her shot blocked by Lee on that first possession. And Queen is ridiculously springy. But playing over 6'7", whether it's Lee, or Lauterbach, I mean, that kid's like 6'8", So because of that, you got to use your quickness. You got to reverse pivot, face, and attack. And so she started to kind of play around them rather than trying to play over them. And that was the key. She played around them rather than over them, And we were making shots, so we got them spread out. So people weren't digging in. At times when she's got people, digging at her dribble, we've seen her turn it over. But when we have great spacing like we did late and she's reverse pivoting and using her athleticism, then she can go around just about any post player in America.
From the beginning of the season, you said, we're going to shoot threes. And then, you have a night like tonight, it's like, yeah, they are definitely going to shoot threes. And, do you feel like this sort of proves this works? This is what you want your team to be like?
I mean, it's still the balance, though. 19 of our shots were threes. So, a third of our shots were threes. We were just really efficient. A lot of teams that shoot a lot of threes that make 10 or 11 threes a game, they take 30 to 40, where their percentage of threes is over 50% of their shots. Our threes shouldn't be, more than 33 or 40% because we can play through Liz and Queen and players that can score at the rim. And we want our guards attacking the basket and shooting layups as well. So we don't want to just stand around and shoot threes because there are teams that are really good at that. And they can put 5 out against the zone and swing it and swing it, swing it. And then eventually you're going to get a 3. That's never going to be us, and I don't see that ever in the future being us. It's always going to be predicated on personnel. People ask me all the time about this whole pro-style offense. Pro-style offense to me means you run pick-and-roll basketball because that's pro basketball. Pick and roll basketball is pro basketball. But a lot of teams run pick and rolls, you know? It's about understanding what your personnel is and putting them in the best position to be successful. So what we do this year won't be exactly the same thing that we do next year when all of a sudden we don't have Melissa Smith. You know, having a pro mentality is saying, I got these 5 players and here's what they do really well, and these players and here's what they do really well. And I'm going to give them a base where we're in pick and rolls because they're hard to guard. But we're going to run offense and actions that are good for the personnel on our team. And so, to me, it's about we're shooting threes because we got kids that can make threes. Like, you know, we're not going to shoot threes if we, you know, don't have players that can make them.
Late in the game, there were 4 baskets. Lanissa and Queen scored 2 each. They each had 2 assists.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that kind of chemistry?
Yeah, so important. I tell those guys all the time, like, sometimes, you know, when they want the basketball, the easiest way to get it is to share it to one another. You know, when you get the ball in high-low situations, then you don't have help side. You know, there's just, and it's what Kansas State was trying to do to us a little bit, get it, you know, so that we couldn't sit deep in help side in the tunnel. So, I mean, they need to be each other's best friends. You know, good high-low combinations are special in basketball. And so the better they are at that, you know, the better we'll be, you know. Because Kate's always been the player that is the good high-low passer to both of them, you know. But we're probably at our best statistically when the 2 of them are on the floor together. So because of that, you know, we need them to play well together.
Nikki, I guess West Virginia, I know it's right after this game. But
Yes.
what do you see from them? And like,
Well, we really needed them to beat Oklahoma
yeah.
the other night. They, you know, the thing, I looked and they got kind of, Kansas got them pretty good tonight, it looks like. You know, I think it's hurt them that KK Deans is out for the season. I mean, she was someone who could really create shots. It's put more pressure on Quinterly. It's put more pressure on Madison Smith. But they're going to defend. You know, they're really physical. They're going to defend. If they can turn you over, they can play with anybody. You know, Martinez is capable of picking and popping and playing on the perimeter, so she stretches you out a little bit. You know, I've seen Black play really, really well, and when she plays well, I think they're hard to guard. And so, you know, I think the key with them is, you know, when we played them up there, we got anything we wanted against, you know, in transition off our pick and roll actions. And they tried to go zone, then we hit a 3, then we hit another 3, and then they got out of their zone. And so, you know, we were just good from the beginning and set the tone, and Deans went down. And so sometimes it's hard, you know, and maybe there was a little bit of that tonight, you know, when Sundell went down. Like, did their energy go down? You know, did they have a little less belief, you know, knowing that kid's played the most minutes of anybody on their team all season? And so, you know, I think West Virginia's shown really good glimpses, though, even since Deans has gone down. I mean, they had the game won twice. I shouldn't say they had the game won, but they had the lead and the ball, you know, in 2 different situations against Oklahoma, and darn Taylor Robertson, 3 and 3 free throws, you know, to end up putting the once to put it in overtime and once to put it in double overtime. So, but yeah, really physical, really going to defend you, really going to deny, different, very different, you know, than K-State. So it's totally different game plan against them.
Did you feel like this was your best game?
Parts of it were the best. Like, I thought there were moments where, you know, I really challenged them to not trade baskets. You know, I look at it and we gave up 14, 13, 11, and 12, so it wasn't like they had a big quarter against us. But I thought when we came out of the gate in the third quarter, we let them score, I think, 3 straight possessions, and we were just trading baskets. And I don't want to get in that mode. I thought we allowed them to straight line drive a little bit, you know, and just I think for me, any coach is this way. You play good defense, someone makes a tough shot. You play good defense, they make a jump shot. They do, you know, you're okay with that. That's coaching. That's players making plays. But, you know, when they do something that makes you look silly, you get frustrated, you know, when they're running an elevator action and they just keep it and go shoot a layup with no rotation. You know, like those kind of things, you know, really, really, you know, get to you. So, you know, it's that type of thing. I thought I thought our balance was good. I thought our effort was really, really good. Queen got on the floor for a loose ball that ended up being a jump ball that we got. Just little plays like that. J. Lou getting that ball and a steal where she just ran it down on our baseline with Lee. I thought we kept our poise. Queen kept her poise. She's been in foul trouble a lot in conference play. She was in foul trouble up there, which really affected our ability to guard Lee. So, our game plan was way better. We couldn't have gone up there with the physical situation we were in when we went up there. We couldn't have played the way we played today. Doesn't mean we couldn't have gone up there and won, but we couldn't play with that intensity, on-ball pressure, denial, and pace. Our pace was good. We had no pace whatsoever at Kansas State.
It's pretty rare.
And we're going to play our best game still, just so you know, Jerry. We haven't played our best game yet.
It's pretty rare that you get a men's, women's. Is that kind of cool to have both of them here Saturday?
It'll be fun. We used to do them in the A-Sun. So not exactly like the Big 12 and the quality. You're talking about Texas on the men's side and our game against West Virginia. So, and they're not exactly back-to-back. I don't think people are staying. So, and I think that would be complicated probably, and I shouldn't even ask our facilities people or ticketing people to, put those closer together. I think that makes their life miserable. But yeah, I think what did the men do tonight? Well, that's even better. Okay, so two Kansas State wins over K-State. No, I think it'll be fun. Hopefully people come to both games, that we have enough of a crossover crowd that they go get some lunch and then come on back.
Fire away, guys.
Coach, I guess it was a pretty pivotal sequence there in the first half when Ayoka gets her third foul.
Yeah.
And then there was a technical, and then they hit another three coming off that technical.
Sure.
Was that something that was kind of hard for you guys to bounce back from at that point?
Well, yeah. I don't. I think there were things that we weren't handling very well in that stretch, and certainly their three-point shooting was great all night long. They really shot it well tonight. They really were explosive tonight. We had trouble getting to their shooters, but that stretch in particular, yeah, it's a game changer when your All-American picks up her third foul. It's a game changer when, they're hitting threes after that. So certainly they ran away from us at that point.
Jeff, is it just hard when they're hitting three-pointers like that? They've got the big girls underneath.
They do. I think they're shooting the ball really well. We knew that, this guard group for them can really shoot the basketball, and they've really heated up, I think, over the last, 3-4 weeks. And when they get it going like that, they can get the ball in the middle of the floor if you get too extended on their three-point shooters, and Smith's as good as anybody in the middle of the floor. And I thought she played really, really well tonight, and I thought their guards really played fast tonight and made a lot of right plays tonight.
Did that make it kind of a guessing game for you then, switching in and out of the 2-3 zone and back to man?
Well, obviously the 2-3 zone, we couldn't get to them. When we were in Manhattan, we got to their shooters better, and they probably didn't have the they weren't maybe playing as fast then. They seem to be clicking now. We seem to be playing faster. Today, it seemed like we started to question whether we, how much we could get out there. It did. I think what it did for our young group was they started questioning whether they should hang in the middle more or get out there. And we kept telling them. We kept telling them we have to guard the 3-point line. And you can see we weren't getting our points across very well. And Baylor was certainly playing well.
Is it simply the foul trouble, or Ayoka? What did they do to her?
Well, I think that. I'll say this. I'm tired of the officials telling me, I'm tired of them not getting the hold. And then they call a bunch of holds later. And I got to be honest, that pisses me off. It's either a hold or it's not a hold, and so that irritates me. And so I think they were physical with her. They were really physical with our guards on the perimeter. But they did a good job on her, and then I think she lost her poise some in that stretch. She was tired of getting held and tired of plays in there, and I don't blame her. Part of me was like, you know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you because it really is amazing to me. I really wanted to stay in the game tonight, so I decided, to try to have my conversations more calmly the rest of the game. But I really was amazed at how many holds they called the rest of the game. And if that's a foul, then that's a foul early. And anyways, I don't want to go on that. Baylor was really good tonight. They did a lot of good things, and they certainly kept us from getting the ball from our go-to player. I'd hold her too till they call it. I'd do everything I could to not let her get the basketball until they call it, and I'd do exactly what they did.